Hi, I'm Arenda Holladay, and I'm going to do a short video on how to make vertical buttonholes. And the thing to keep in mind is that when we use the terminology vertical, that describes how it's worked. It's worked vertically on the fabric, not necessarily how it's going to appear on the band when it's worked. There are lots and lots of techniques for vertical buttonholes, and I'm only going to discuss two because we all have our go-to techniques, and these are mine. In TKGA's Cast On magazine, if you're interested in vertical buttonholes, we have a series of articles on buttonholes, and our authors have gone into great detail on how to form all of these variations. Now, this buttonhole that we're going to talk about is a vertical buttonhole, but it's actually formed by making a double yarn eyelet, yarn over. And so it could actually be classified as an eyelet buttonhole, but because usually eyelets are worked on one row, this one gives you a vertical appearance. Now the thing about this buttonhole is this is the size the buttonhole is going to be. It's worked over 3 rows, and so it's not going to be smaller, it's not going to be bigger, because that is not how it's formed. So I'm going to show you how to make it. And I've got my yarn here. Let me get that out of the way. And I'm going to work up to the purl stitch where I want the buttonhole to be. And generally speaking, a buttonhole when worked in ribbing looks best when it is worked over a purl stitch, because that way it will recede in the pattern. It won't disrupt the stitch pattern. It just looks a lot better. And I'm going to form a double yarn over by wrapping the yarn around twice, and then I'm going to knit 2 together. And I'm using a knit 2 together because as a right slanting decrease, it covers, the knit stitch covers that purl stitch, so the stitch pattern is maintained. And so that's step 1. I've formed it. And you can use this buttonhole in other stitch patterns. It doesn't work all that well for double rib, but for seed stitch, stockinette, whatever kind of stitch pattern you might have, it works pretty well. Now I'm going to just work in pattern up to my yarn over. And because I'm on the wrong side, I'm going to knit this, because that on the wrong side, that will be a purl. And I knit into the first loop and then I drop it. I've got this big old yarn over here. I'm going to ignore it. And I'm going to go and continue to work. I'm not done. That big yarn over would not work. I've seen knitters try and do this for a eyelet, to do a double knit yarn over, but it just makes it look kind of sloppy, to tell you the truth. Now I'm going to work back to that same location, and when I get to where that buttonhole is, notice that it's a purl stitch there. I'm going to purl into the hole, not the stitch, but the hole. And I'm going to again then work to the end of the row. Now what that does is that buttonhole was kind of big and loose and gloppy, or the yarn over rather. And when I went in there, it actually tightened that thing up so that the stitches are a little over large, but they're not terrible. And that brings up a good point. You know, how attractive does a buttonhole have to be? Well, if you're always going to wear the garment buttoned, it really doesn't matter, because nobody's ever going to see it. But if you are going to have it open, it's a good idea to pick an attractive buttonhole. Now I'm up to that spot again, and I'm going to insert my needle, and because it's a purl stitch on the other side and I'm on the wrong side, I'm going to knit into it, give the yarn a little tug, and go to, whoops, forget my stitch pattern here, go into the end, and I'm going to turn. And you can see it looked kind of big and ugly here right now, but it recedes because it's a purl stitch once I work a few rows. I'm not going to work a few rows, but I could. Now, one of the problems with this buttonhole is that those yarn overs are kind of bulky, or the yarn over and then the lifting it up. And there is kind of a loose strand there. You can see that it just recedes completely. It looks pretty good. I could catch these loops on a button if I were using too small of a buttonhole. If I'm using a larger button, not going to be a problem. So that is the double yarn over eyelet vertical buttonhole. Now, another way of doing a vertical buttonhole, and this is kind of the traditional way, this is the only way to do it when I first learned to knit a million years ago, and that is you work up to where the buttonhole is, and then you work each side separately. And you can see this is a very loose buttonhole, particularly at the top. And one of the disadvantages is that this thing can stretch out and it's not very tight at the top. Now that can be an advantage actually, because this is probably the best buttonhole if you have a very big button that you're wanting to put on there, because it accommodates a large button size. Now, most vertical buttonholes will have you work both sides, but there are techniques where you do not cut the yarn. And I don't know, I mean, I think they don't want to cut the yarn because you have to deal with yarn tails. And I don't mind yarn tails. One thing you can do with those yarn tails is, and if I were working this in the same color, is I could reinforce the top of that buttonhole to make it sturdier. And the same with the bottom yarn tail. Also, it is so easy to weave yarn tails into ribbing. You just run them up a single column of ribs, and there's nothing to it. Single column of ribs, not a big deal. So I don't know what the big fuss is about. And also, they're kind of convoluted. When I look at a direction for a buttonhole and it's more than 8 steps, I kind of go, I'm not going to bother. But I have used this buttonhole before, but like I said, I'm rarely using gigantic buttons, so I prefer the eyelet buttonhole. All right, but let's see how to work this. And I've got 2 colors of yarn, and I've worked a few rows. Now this one actually works pretty well. Oh, let me get that again. In double rib, because if it weren't for the fact that, it was in 2 colors, it would be not that unattractive. And as I work those stitches separately, it forms like a little selvage on the side, and that's not all that unattractive. Let me see, so it works pretty well in double rib. Single rib, yeah, I guess you could. Seed stitch would be a good one for this. All right, well, I'm going to work up to where I want the buttonhole to be. Whoops. And when you make this kind of buttonhole, always, always, always make it smaller than you think you might, because as I said, it's very stretchy, and it's going to stretch out more as you use it. Okay, there's the last stitch there. I work up to the first purl stitch, and then I try and find the end of my yarn. Here it is. And I just start knitting with it. And you want to leave a tail long enough to weave in, and also not to come undone. So I've got a purl stitch here. And this is kind of like working 2 sides of the neckline at the same time. Got 2 balls of yarn. Now, of course, if I were doing this for real, I would be using one color. I would have undone a little ball of yarn and ready to go. And I'm not going to make this huge. You can use it to make smaller buttonholes too. If you want a smaller double rib buttonhole, I did a video on eyelet buttonholes, and there's a very nice one there that leaves a smaller, slightly larger than an eyelet, but smaller than this one for a buttonhole. And I'm going to work one more row, and then I'm going to close it up. Now you want to be aware that when you're working this buttonhole and you decide to end, is that if you're using a smaller ball of yarn for this side, you want to close the buttonhole off. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that Anyway, on the right side, because otherwise you're going to take your working yarn, and on this side, if I were working it this way, you're going to use your working yarn, and it's going to be that shorter ball of yarn. So generally, close it off on the right side row. And you'll see when I finish this, even a 2-row buttonhole is going to be quite large. Okay, one more stitch, and then I'm going to go ahead, pull that yarn tail out of the way, and work to the other side. And I'm going to work one more row so you can see exactly how that buttonhole is a bit larger than you might think. Okay, there we go. One more row and then we'll look at it. So as I said, there are tons and tons of vertical buttonholes out there that you can try. And it seems to be one area where designers will experiment and come up with something that they think works really well. And, you know, that's great. I love to see innovation in knitting, but I'm kind of lazy when I need a buttonhole. I tend to rely on the same old buttonholes that I've worked and I don't need to look up how to do. Okay, so you can see that that buttonhole is fairly large, and I just worked it over 2 rows. And it's, you know, not the most attractive thing, but if the, you know, ribbing folds in on itself, you really hardly even notice it.